Well, that was a little bit of a surprise. Hello, my name is Alex Does F1 Stuff, and welcome back to another random F1 episode, and another episode that I was not planning on making in the slightest. We have just come off the back of the shocking, surprising, very surprising, shocking is possibly the wrong word, definitely surprising news that Honda, as an engine manufacturer, will be leaving Formula 1 at the end of 2021. Now, I am a tad late to this story, as it is currently 3:30. I have just driven home from university for the weekend. This story broke at 8 in the morning, pretty much when I set off, and I've been setting up stuff at home and getting used to just being at home, talking to friends, talking to family, before I could sit down and make a video. I was a little bit undecided whether I actually wanted to make this thing, but here we are, we're making it. I've decided it's not going to be particularly long or arduous to edit, so here we are. But anyway, with that, we get on into all of the articles. It was bombarded this morning, early on in the hours, about 8ish sort of time, that Honda is leaving. I think that's caught everybody by surprise. Everyone expected them to stay, and everybody expected them to be a challenge in 2022 for the new regulations with Red Bull against Mercedes. But the ultimate question is on screen now. What next for Red Bull after Honda's shock Formula 1 exit? It's surprising because they've had success. Honda have had success. Obviously, they went through that arduous period with McLaren since rejoining the sport in the hybrid era after leaving in, 2008 when they became Brawn. They've then left and came back as an engine supplier. Didn't have a particularly didn't have a particularly torrid time, but they did have a torrid time with McLaren. Didn't really enjoy the success they were after, moved to Toro Rosso in 2018, and then supplied both Toro Rosso and Red Bull from 2019 onwards. And they have enjoyed success together. They have definitely won some Grand Prix, they've definitely had some podiums, they have definitely had some awesome records together. However, I do believe it is simply the fact that it is the pandemic that we're currently in, and I don't think that Honda is gonna be one to stay in it for something like this. You know, the reason why they left in 2008 was because of the world financial crash when no one had a lot of money. And now at this point, companies don't have a lot of money due to the pandemic because no one's buying stuff, no one's buying cars. So what's the point in pumping however many millions into Formula 1 to produce an engine if you're not going to do very well? Or not that you're not going to do very well, but if you've got no money coming in from selling your cars, you're not going to want to pump millions into Formula 1. And that, I think, is the primary reason why Honda are leaving. And as for what Red Bull are going to do next, it's going to be a bit of a struggle. It's a bit annoying though. It is definitely annoying, as they were supposed to be a challenge in 2022. As Honda, they've got it right. They've got a decent engine, and we know they've got a decent engine as they've had many podiums. However, unfortunately for Red Bull, they are going to have to go through another sort of learning period, another sort of getting to know the engine and understanding period, which is not what they want. They did that all of 2019 and somewhat of this year to understand the Honda power unit, and now they're going to have to do it all again. As for what engine manufacturer they're going to have, is it going to be Mercedes? Is it going to be Ferrari? Or are they going to go crawling back to Renault? Obviously, we've also got Alpha Tauri to contend with, but I feel that's a fairly set move that they're going to go back to Ferrari power, as they have been Ferrari for, I think, the majority of their time. Especially, they were Ferrari when they came in 2007, and I think at the start of the hybrid era they moved to Renault. They then went back to Ferrari for 2 years before going to Honda. So they've definitely been Ferrari for a while, so I feel Alpha Tauri, they're all set. And I think there is a picture of Pierre Gasly. The Alpha Tauri team, I think, is all set. They're going to move back to Ferrari. I feel that's almost certain. But obviously a decision about this isn't going to come about this year. I think it's going to all happen next year. But ultimately, Red Bull, and where does it leave them now? Honestly, Renault. In the regulations, Renault have to. It's as simple as that. They've got to supply the team. They're the team they're the manufacturer with the least amount of customer teams. So they do have to. I don't really understand the rule. I don't really know why it's a rule. But then you've also got Mercedes. Are they going to want to supply Red Bull with an engine? Honestly, no. Not because they don't want to give their rival team their power unit. It's because in 2021 they're going to be supplying 4 teams. Their own, Aston Martin, Racing Point, and McLaren. Are they really going to want to supply engines to half of the grid? And I realised I said Aston Martin and Racing Point. I meant to say Williams in that list as well. They're going to be supplying 4 teams basically. And if they do take on Red Bull, are they really going to want to take on half of the grid? And as for Ferrari, it's much the same. They're supplying, I think, Haas, Ferrari, and Alfa Romeo at the moment. Are they really going to want to take on, if they do take on Alpha Tauri, are they really going to want to take on another team as well to bump it up to 5? So genuinely, I do think that Renault, at this moment in time, out of the current engine manufacturers, excluding Honda, obviously, as they're leaving, out of the 3 engine manufacturers currently that are left in Formula 1, it is Renault that will have to pick up the pieces for Red Bull, and Red Bull will have to go crawling back after burning the hell out of those bridges. They are going to have to go back to Renault. However, I put a lot of emphasis on the fact that there are going to be 3 current engine manufacturers in Formula 1. Someone else may come in, and that I feel is a bigger possibility than Red Bull going back to Renault, as they honestly destroyed those bridges, and simply because of the number of engines that Mercedes and Ferrari are going to have, they're not going to want to supply a 5th team. But who externally could come in? We could have someone like Audi, we could have someone like Porsche, we could have someone like VW maybe, or perhaps even Red Bull could develop their own power unit. I'm not sure. Obviously though, that is an extremely expensive thing, and given the fact that all of the pricing, cost caps, that's it, cost caps, not power caps. The cost caps are coming in. I don't know whether that is something they're going to want to invest in. So personally, I do believe that an external engine manufacturer is going to come in outside of the 4 that we currently have, and 3 that we will hopefully have in 2022. Ultimately though, it is going to set Red Bull back for a title challenge, as it would have been so cool to see them properly challenge for 2022, as they're going to have been designing that car. I know the designing of the 2022 cars at least has been frozen for a little bit until midway through next year, but it's still going to set them back, as they're going to have started designing or started drawing and thinking about that car around the Honda power unit, and now they don't have it. So I would be interested to hear your thoughts on exactly what you think is going to end up with Red Bull. Are they going to be with any of the 3 engine manufacturers currently, excluding Honda, or is somebody else going to come in and pick up the pieces? But that's all I've got for you today, guys. I hope you have enjoyed that little video there, and I will catch you in the next episode with whatever and whenever I decide to make it. I'll see you guys then.